Spooky, spooky death scales. Everyone says, don't take death, it'll fuck you over. And we get that -4 income. It's pretty spooky. But wait, it's turn 38. We're recruiting 9 gibbers. With enough left over to recruit 10 if we weren't recruiting this big boy. Of course, we didn't start Death 2. That's a weird place to start. Just get a point of growth from a throne casually. And we're gonna roll down the blood. That ought to get us through the end of the game. Turmoil 1, too. Hashtag never punished. Yeah, but seriously. Death scales? Not as bad as people think. Turn 76. Going back for some more blood fecundity. That should make us through. Oh, well. Yeah. We'll be fine forever. But let's look. Turn 76, where we've been with some blood fecundity and some D2 scales that were D3, but we took the throne. We've got still almost able to give mags, missing 1 resource due to buying one of these guys out of more amusement than anything. Not really hurt very much. I want to show this off. I want to show this off because we're in a position that, if you listen to the conventional wisdom of the Dominions community, this would be like a position to bitch about. You know, I had death scales. Oh, death scales. I mean, the drain was sucked ass, but. And then I had a Lemuria neighbor, and I'm not getting gold from these lands. And it's so, you know, I had to be the one to deal with Lemuria. Oh no, it's not a big deal. This is not an ideal position. This money, I could have more of it. I could definitely stand to have more of it. I'm probably around 4th position. I don't have the globals. I'm having to rely on my about 175 blood slave income. Could get that up more. A bunch of immortal spam, making vampires, making liches and shit for my late game instead of being one of the top players and just casting a globals that win me the game. It's my gym income, not terrible. Need to claim this fucking throne of air so I can make that happen. Who cares? Oh, got an event. Got the welfare brigade over here. That's another one people like to bitch about. Yeah. And the point isn't that I'm like, so good and skilled that I fought this way. I'm still 4th position. Calum has tons of shit. Kosk, Pythium, has tons of shit. Fought a war with Ulm Balls to a tie. And it wasn't great, you know. Not in the best position, but death scales are fine. This has been my death scale since the beginning of the game. It's giving me 70 gold. It's turned 76. Like, we do have luck scales. We're not totally devoid of greed. We get this, you know, get our mine provinces that are yoked regardless. But, like, a lot of these provinces, it's like, yeah, these are down. It's been blood hunted to shit. You know, this one I've been blood hunting fairly hard. You know, blood hunted this, and then it had an arena to get my income back up. But, like, yeah, there's not out of money. These provinces are still producing fairly heavily in terms of income, despite being under Death 3 for about 20 turns, and Death 2 for a shitload more turns, and then being hunted to hell and back afterwards. Someone else's cap I took, like, you know, all of a sudden your income's all the way back up again. You just take some land. And then Lemuria, you know, I've got all these low income provinces around Lemuria's cap, and I had to take all these, you know, ghosty forts. That's whatever. But this throne over here, it's not completely out of pop. like I go down a few provinces, my dominion, that's fine. And this, kind of was in Lemuria's dominion, got hurt a little bit. Like it's only really his cap circle and a few of these provinces along this line between his throne and his cap that got like totally fucked. And then we've got some like, provinces that are kind of sag, but then just a little bit lower, we have like provinces that are, well, they would be fine if I wasn't blood hunting them to hell. Or we have provinces that are just like really like good over here. They're giving me like 80 and 6 things that give you income malices are not game breakers at all. Like death scales, Lemuria neighbor, like yeah, I'm not. I'm suffering a little bit from those, but I'm suffering way more for fighting like a 20-turn war against balls that I didn't get any land from, that I just tied out of. Then I'm suffering way more from that really sucked the wind out of my sails. I'm suffering more from that than I ever would for this fucking Lemuria fight or from death scales. Like the drain's pretty bad. Let me see if I can show some graphs. Yeah. Oh, my income's stagnating. Oh, this is war right here. That sucked. But this is not like terrible. Jimgen comes up, research, Dominion, Army. Hey, look at that. Huh? Stop being afraid of these things, okay? It's unseemly. It's just unseemly, boys. Anyway, I think I'm gonna click into Calum.